Hello dear friends, I'm Marina and today I will present you the weekly horoscope for the week of the 20th of May through the 27th. The biggest news for this week is that Mercury and the Sun are both entering Gemini. Very important ingression because it happens at the same time, and on top of that, Mercury is the planet which rules Gemini. So very powerful, very positive position, especially for the air signs, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, and for every person who is working in the area of communication or is interested in learning, or for any other person who would like to have more variety. Because recently we had the transits in Taurus, and Taurus is the most passive and stable sign. So now that Mercury and the Sun both enter Gemini, air mutable sign, we can experience much more variety in our lives. We might be more flexible. Our mental capacity might be more focused on finding solutions or taking decisions. So generally intellectual work can be more positive and more productive for the next 1 month. So great news, and generally these are positions which will bring a shift. A shift especially related to how we feel, how we communicate, how we connect, how we express our thoughts and our ideas. During this video, as usual, we are going to talk about the most important planetary events and ingressions and aspects during the whole week. Don't forget that you will find all of the information below this video with timestamps for each of the days, so you can always come back and check the daily horoscope for a specific day. And before we move forward, I just want to make an announcement, which by the way is also related to the ingression of the Sun and Mercury in Gemini, because the topic is related to education. I would like to announce that during this autumn I'm starting a new in-depth training in astrology. We are gonna start from the basics and we are gonna move to an advanced level. So if you want to save your spot, you can check the link below and just enter your email address. You don't need to pay anything in advance. You will have enough time to do that, but make sure to sign up because the group will be limited and the people who have signed up first will have better chances actually to save their spot. All right, so we're gonna talk about it more in the future. I may also share a little bit at the end of the video actually about the upcoming training. So if you wanna check that, you may watch the whole video or find the link and skip to this part. Now back to our weekly horoscope. Back to the Sun and Mercury in Gemini. First of all, Gemini is a sign which is related to enjoying life, to certain lightness. You know, Gemini is not about drama. It's not about, worrying too much about financial stuff or being too impulsive. Gemini is a very flexible sign, the air flexible sign, which means that during the upcoming weeks, we may notice that we are more adaptable, we are more open for a change, and intellectually we are ready to accept some new ideas. Gemini is the sign of the student, the person who is always searching for information, always wanting to know the latest news, to know the right people around, to connect, to exchange ideas. So we may notice also that those things are more present for us during the upcoming weeks. Now, which are the challenges? Because we have to mention them as well. Gemini sometimes can be a superficial sign. So we may not be able or willing to go too much into, the deeper part of something. So we may want to skip from one thing to the next thing without, wasting too much time or effort on something. Another risk that Gemini can bring for us is the fact that we may focus our attention on too many things at the same time. And this might interfere with our priorities. So sometimes we may waste too much time on small things, on details, and we may not be able to see the whole picture or, the whole long-term perspective. So as usual, it really depends on how we use this energy. The positive way to use it is to learn new things, to connect with other people, to create new contacts, and also to focus on intellectual and mental work. Absolutely fantastic time for learning things, new training, some kind of courses, learning new skills. And here, usually the focus is on, short-term programs or information which you can learn relatively fast, and you may start using it in your life immediately. So focus on that, read books or watch videos or sign up for a training, something which will improve your skills and will help you to be more competent in life, in business, or in any area which is important for you. Also, the area of communication, of course, for some kind of contacts, whether this would be with friends, whether this would be with business partners, or people who can teach us, or people who may help us to create contacts with others. All of those options are available to us. Another thing which is also wonderful is traveling. Traveling to, for fun, traveling to learn something, traveling to explore, or for business purposes. This, flexibility of Gemini allows us to be more interested in the new things and also to be more capable to adapt to the changes or the new atmosphere or the different environment around us. But overall, as I said, we may notice that there is lightness around us, that we may take, certain ideas and certain decisions faster. Because as we said recently, both the Sun and Mercury were in Taurus. Very, very slow sign, which needs time to take decisions. Of course, it has all its positive sides, but from the challenging side, it might have been more difficult for us to, to take a new decision or to take action and to implement those ideas. Now, with Mercury and the Sun both in Gemini, we may take those decisions faster. We may find other solutions. So the mind can be extremely active, which is, of course, can also bring certain challenges because the Mercury is gonna be really close to the Sun. So the fact that they change the sign positions at the same time means that also they have less than 1 degree orbits. And on this very day when we had the ingression, which is on Tuesday, I believe, yes, the 21st Tuesday, we also have the conjunction between Mercury and the Sun, which makes Mercury burned by the Sun. Of course, when certain planet is burned, it means that it gives its qualities to the Sun. The qualities of this planet become part of the Sun. So very strong, very powerful Mercury qualities. At certain point, it also means that on Tuesday, Mercury is gonna be in this magical position, which we called Cazimi. The Cazimi position is when certain planet is within less than 17 minutes out of the degree away from the Sun. So this is around 1/3 of the degree. 1 degree has 60 minutes. So when certain planet is in this Cazimi position or in the heart of the Sun, the planet becomes extremely powerful. So for ideas, for inspiration, for mental work, for contacts, for traveling, Tuesday can be especially productive. So use the day, use it for something which will help you to find solutions, or to plan something, or to learn new things. You know, this is a time when basically we have the planet which is ruling Gemini in the right sign, at home, as we say. So Mercury is coming back home. And this also supports the Sun. When the Sun is in Gemini, it means that also Mercury is ruling the Sun. So it really helps us to concentrate our minds on something, to learn faster, to adapt faster, to find those needed solutions or contacts, or ask other people, or find the right information. So as you can see, we really can be very productive during the week. As I said, especially the air signs. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, you guys can be very, very active intellectually during the next couple of weeks, and also you can find those new ideas, and you know, it can just be so much different than usual. Of course, each of the other signs can also benefit in terms of those things that we already mentioned. So I think it's pretty clear. I made my point. I hope I have inspired you to learn, to try new things, to think about certain things, to plan and travel and so on. So I'm gonna move to the next part of our horoscope. The next part, basically, we can go through the days, day by day, as usual, and talk about the most important influences and also the sign of the moon. The 20th of May, Monday, we have a square and a half between Venus and Jupiter. Interesting aspect which can help us to think about our values. And at first there might be certain challenge, because the square and a half is a minor challenging aspect. So we may need to change something, or we may realize that there is a difference between our own personal values and the values of other people. And sometimes that's completely okay, as long as we are okay with that. On the other hand, this aspect may also push us to search for more, to search for more prosperity, to search for more joy in life, for more success, more abundance. As I said, the minor challenging aspect can bring certain frustration, but frustration can push you to take action and to make a change. So overall, this can turn into something positive at the end if we are open to the changes. And especially when it comes to relationships, when it comes to love and romance, the Venus areas, we may realize that our idea about success in this area is not truly what we have been following till now. So ask yourself, what do you really value in terms of your personal life, in terms of your personal relationships? Do you follow the socially accepted rules, what other people believe is positive? Or are you really honest with yourself and true to your deepest desires? I think that this is a great time to think about those issues. The other important thing for Monday, the transit moon will be in Sagittarius and also will join Jupiter there. Very positive aspect for focusing on the future, new goals, planning, exploring something, more positive attitude, more optimism. And this also, puts a focus on the Jupiter part. So definitely the Jupiter area is very important on Monday. Our goals, our ideas and values for prosperity and success, and also our plans for the future. Think about those things on Monday. The 21st of May, Tuesday, that's the day when Mercury and the Sun enter Gemini at the same time. On top of that, they also make conjunction with each other also on Tuesday. So very, very active day for intellectual work, for certain mental tasks, or finding new solutions or communicating more with other people, with friends, with business partners, learning new things, trying new things, being more flexible. And overall, it's also a very inspiring because Neptune will make quintile with the Sun and Mercury at the same time on this very day. So from one side we have the practical, detail-oriented way of thinking that Gemini brings us. But on the other hand, we also have the positive connection with Neptune, which is in Pisces. This is an energy which brings imagination, creativity, inspiration, intuition. So combine those two things together and you may have really amazing results. On Tuesday, the transit moon will also be in Capricorn. So the energy is different from Monday. And we have to remember that we need to be grounded. So not only, to think about dreams or fantasies, but also to find ways to materialize those ideas, to turn them into something practical, which will benefit us and other people as well. So think about it, what you need to focus right now in terms of something practical, material, possibly related to business or work. And also how you can be more creative in this area. Do you need other people's advices or information? Do you need more skills? Or do you need to spend more time on planning? As I said, Tuesday is the most amazing day of the week. The 22nd of May, Wednesday, we have a beautiful aspect between Mars and Uranus. There is a sextile. Mars and Uranus is a very, very intense combination. Mars is related to taking action, taking risks, and doing something. Uranus is a planet which can make us impatient, wanting to take fast actions or decisions, and also bringing more desire for excitement, more enthusiasm, more desire to experiment. This, by the way, can be a positive impact for Mars because currently Mars is in Cancer. That's a weak position for Mars. So Mars in Cancer can be quite lazy or demotivated or, wasting too much time on emotions and not so much time on taking action. So here Uranus can play a major role to make us more focused on the action and searching for this excitement or more variety or just doing something in a different way, being more original. So use it for something new, use it to experiment, to try something, to find more variety in your life and to experience this enthusiasm. The transit moon is still in Capricorn on Wednesday. So we have to remain stable, in touch with reality, with the material world, to focus on our obligations and responsibilities and duties, and be committed to the things that we want to materialize. Okay, next we have the 23rd of May, Thursday. What an interesting day it is. Mercury will make 3 aspects with the other planets. Semi-sextile with Mars, semi-sextile with Uranus, and square and a half with Saturn. First of all, the square and a half with Saturn can bring certain obstacles for us. Issues we need to solve, possible delays, or some kind of limitations or boundaries. In terms of communicating with other people, we may also face with some kind of resistance, or people may not be so open to us, so we need to work harder for that. Also, we need to be careful of possible negative thoughts. The positive thing is that the other 2 aspects can compensate that. The semi-sextile with Mars and Uranus, the 2 planets which yesterday had a positive aspect between each other, so they are still close to each other today as well. And Mercury is included here. So Intellectually, we may also be very active. We might be provoked by something to, to express ourselves, to take action related to our plans and goals and decisions, and also to search for a new approach, a new way to think about certain issue, or also to experiment, to be more flexible and to have more variety, to experiment, to try new things. So this is also a very interesting day, a very dynamic, and potentially also can be very productive. We have also another shift during this day. The moon will be in Capricorn until 1 p.m. Eastern time. So if you have plans for the first half of the day, be prepared to be patient, to be hardworking, to be really focused and accurate about everything you're doing. And after 1 p.m. Eastern time, the moon enters Aquarius. So more lightness, more variety, more flexibility, and even more focus on communication, connection with other people, experimenting, trying new things, and overall this can also bring more enthusiasm in our lives. The 24th of May, Friday, another aspect which Mercury makes, actually square and a half with Pluto. This aspect can make us look more serious on certain things. We may want to explore something, to understand the meaning of something, but sometimes this aspect may also bring fears or worries or certain doubts. So remember that this is a temporary thing. Remember that through your conscious efforts and mindset, you may really change your thoughts, and eventually you may change your results. But even those challenging aspects from Pluto can help us to be more intuitive, more concentrated, more passionate about certain idea. Also on Friday, the transit moon is in Aquarius. Great time for communicating, for exploring new things, spending time with friends, and going out for more variety, for more interesting experiences. The 25th of May, Saturday, Uranus and the Sun, semi-sextile between those two planets. So even more excitement, even more interesting stuff, and also a great time to socialize with other people, our community or another group or just friends. And also this is a great time to do something different, something which you haven't done before, something which will help you to feel more alive, more enthusiastic, more creative. New ideas, new approaches, experimenting, and overall more variety. The transit moon is in Aquarius also during Saturday, a sign which is ruled by Uranus. So the Uranus energy is very intense during Saturday. So expect something unexpected. Be open for a change, for something new. Be creative. Don't be afraid to experiment. And also communicate with other people. That's my advice for Saturday. And the 26th of May, Sunday, the last day of the week, we have a square and a half between the Sun and Saturn. Minor and challenging aspect which potentially can bring certain obstacles or delays or procrastination, or we may feel like there is some kind of resistance within us. So don't push yourself too much. Don't be too hard on yourself. You may just be not so motivated, to do things or to work hard or even to be committed to your obligations, and sometimes that's okay. I mean that sometimes we have to slow down. And this time also the transit moon will be in Pisces, the sign which is really, not supportive for material tasks. Pisces is the sign of imagination, dreams, relaxation, intuition, creativity, all of those, things which are very, very different from Saturn. So overall, you may feel like you are not so motivated to work really hard. The physical energy, the level of the physical energy may not be so high. And that's okay as well. We need this time to recharge or to focus on something more creative, or, you know, sometimes just to relax in front of the TV and watch something nice. So Sunday can be actually positive for relaxation or for something creative. So that was the general overview of the week. Don't forget that you can always come back and check everything related to the daily horoscopes. Now, as I promised, I can share a little bit more information about the upcoming training. This will be an advanced course in astrology. We are going to start from beginners and we are going to go to the advanced level. The training will start during September or October. Honestly, I haven't decided yet, but please sign up for the waiting list if you would like to participate in this training. As I said, the group will be limited and people who have signed up first will have advantage over other people. Even if you haven't learned anything about astrology, you will learn absolutely everything that you need to start with. If you have learned astrology, if you have experience, which I believe that many people watching this channel have this experience, it's still valuable because honestly, what I think one of the main problem of people who are interested in astrology but haven't gone through such a training is that you guys know a lot. You know about aspects, you know about house positions, you know about signs, but your problem is to be able to combine all of that. That's the magic. That's the magic of the interpretation. The other thing, you can, get a computer. There are many softwares which can provide this information for you. But the real magic is when you are able to prioritize things and to know how to interpret that combined. And that's what we are gonna learn. Of course, we cannot skip the part about, the aspects, the houses, the signs. This is fundamental. We cannot move forward without this knowledge. But what this training will give you is the knowledge how to interpret the whole chart. Astrology configurations, dispositors, elements, so many things, house positions, interceptions. It's a whole science. So if you're interested, if you want to move to the next level, or even if you want to become a professional astrologer, this training will provide the needed information. We are going to start with natal astrology, and after we learn this, we are going to move to prediction. But first, you have to be very skillful in the natal astrology, the birth astrology. If you cannot interpret the chart correctly, you cannot make an accurate prediction. So that's why we always start with the general understanding of the natal chart and the person. We are going to talk about concrete examples. So it's not just, dry information. You're going to learn in practice how things happen and how each indications combine with each other. So I'm extremely excited, and the reason why I haven't done this so far, even though many people have asked me, is because I truly want to give you a whole understanding. So I don't want to talk only about the signs or only about the houses. Those things can be found, of course, there are many tutorials, but here I want to make this as a whole program. So anyone from beginner to the advanced level can learn and will understand basically how the magic of astrology really happens. So if you have any questions, please, you're welcome to send them to me. And don't forget to save your spot and join the waiting list. As I said, the group will be limited. So that's enough for today. We are going to talk about it in the future. Thank you very much for being part of this community, for sharing this passion about astrology with me. And I cannot wait to see you during the autumn. Thank you again and have a wonderful, magical week.